This is a quick video showing how to install the Gacha Bot and get it running for yourself on your own computer. So hopefully you've already joined the Discord. Invite link is here, and there's a section called documentation. We're going to be following the instructions in script installation. This is like freshly installed copy of Windows 10. And we just follow the steps through. First step, install Ark Survival Evolved. I've done that using the Epic Games launcher. It works with Steam as well, but I'm going to show this for Epic version of Ark. Next, you need to install Python 3.9.5. Follow this link, scroll all the way to the bottom. There's a list of files. There's this one at the bottom, recommended Windows installer 64-bit. Click that button. That's going to download. That should take no time at all. Then I'm going to run that. Double click it in the downloads folder. It's going to give you a couple of choices here. The really important thing is that you click this one down the bottom, add Python 3.9 to path. If you don't have that clicked, you're going to have to uninstall and reinstall Python. So make sure that's clicked. Then you click install now. Windows is going to ask if we'll let it make changes. We say yes. This is installing Python, which is going to allow the bot to run. This should just take a few minutes. You can close out of the website while it's doing that. Alright, done. Setup was successful. Next step in the process is download the Gacha Bot to your computer. I'm going to click here to download the zip file. Discord's going to be like, it could be dangerous. Well, it's not. This comes to my downloads folder. Now, really important is to extract this. If you're using WinRAR or something like that, that's totally fine. Extract all. You can choose where you want to put that. I recommend putting that on your desktop. And we'll just make a folder and we'll call it Gacha Bot. Extract. Here we go. These are the files. Going back to the documentation, there's a file in here called install Open Element Gacha Bot.bat. You double click on that, it's going to say Windows protected your PC. You can click more info, run it anyway. It's going to come up with this little command window. It's going to go through one by one and install all the dependencies required to run the Gacha Bot. This process can take like up to 5 minutes depending on how good your PC is. But you don't need to do anything here except wait. And when the text in this window stops scrolling, it should say at the bottom, completed installing the Gacha Bot Python dependencies. Press enter to close this window. If that's what it says, everything's installed perfectly. Press enter, it closes that window. Now, the next step is to start it by the start Open Element Gacha Bot.bat. Let me tap back. Okay, and you're done. It's installed. It's working. So this is what it looks like. That means you've installed Python, you've installed the dependencies, and the bot's ready to go. Let me show you now. The script configuration has instructions for all of this, which explains like in detail how it works. But I'm just going to set this up real quick for a tower that I'm running on Official Conquest and show you how all the settings look for my tower. So a couple of things to check once you got the Gacha Bot installed. You need to have your monitor that you're running this on. It needs to be 1920 by 1080. That's like a must. Your game needs to be 1920 by 1080 as well. And it needs to either be full screen or windowed full screen. Then you can join your server. Just while this is loading in, another thing that people often forget is in Discord, you need to make sure that your overlay is turned off. Where are we? Game overlay. This needs to be turned off. Otherwise it can like hide parts of the screen that the bot needs to see to work out what it's doing. So you want to load in the game, and there's a couple of settings that you need to check. One of the settings is under advanced. You want to make sure you have disable menu transitions and no tooltip delay ticked. By default, they are unticked. They need to be ticked. Give default survivor items needs to be unticked. By default, that's ticked. And in your options, you need to make sure your resolution is 1920 by 1080. You're either windowed full screen or full screen. And if you're like just using this PC for running the bot, you can like set everything to low, like untick all of these. This will just like give you slightly more frames. Everything else you want to like leave pretty much the same, especially things like UI general scale, the FOV. The bot will set the sensitivity for you. Let's save that. So then, here we go. We look at the bed, we go to fast travel. This is going to show all of the beds on the map. Depending on what you name the beds on your tower is going to depend what you put into the bot. So you can see here all of the beds on this tower, like seed 00, seed 01, seed 02. So in this config here, that's the bed prefix. The load method, you've got a choice of Y-trap, metal, or none. This is a Y-trap tower. This is going to depend on your tower. The number of beds. Okay, so this starts at 00. So if you've got 24 beds, the highest will be 23. See, I got a 23, but I got a 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So the highest bed number is 27. That means I have 28 beds. The crop harvest turn direction is what direction it turns from the bed. This can be left, right, or 360. 360 means it's got crop plots on 3 sides. For me, it's right. Now, the bed prefix for where it goes to collect crystals. Again, you can search this into the bed filter. For me, it's just crystal. And I've got one of those. This interval is how often it picks up crystals. For most people, 600 will be about right. If you notice the bot slot capping on crystals, you can alter that down. In some situations, you want to alter that up. And then number of dedicated storages, like on the tower I'm running here, you can see 4 dedi storages. There's polyvolts on both sides. Right, this is where it's going to put all of the poly gear, like fab snipers, riot gear, miners helmets, etc, etc. You can set here what you want it to drop and what you want it to keep. It drops the stuff first. So you can see by default it's dropping primitive, ramshackle, apprentice, because those give you less poly than the better gear, like the journeyman and the mastercraft and the ascendant. And then this is a list. So like if you wanted it to keep tree platforms as well, you can do comma space tree. If you don't want it to keep pump shotguns, you can like remove that if you want. Like that's totally up to you. Suicide method. Suicide or tech pod. For this bot, we've got beds where it spawns and drops into the lava. They are called, I think, just suicide. Once again, you can check this from the bed menu. Yeah, these are called Gacha Suicide. So instead of suicide bed, I put Gacha Suicide. This, what you put in this box is exactly what the bot's going to type in game, so it needs to match exactly. The only thing we haven't done is like the most important, which is these bed coordinates. To find those, type in the name of your seed beds. You want to take a screenshot, which I did with Alt Print Screen, and then open Paint, which is like an app that's built into Windows. Control V to paste it in. Then you want to take this pencil tool. If you look at the bottom left of Paint, as I move the pencil tool around, it's got like XY coordinates. I'm going to pick a point which is like right in the middle of the beds. When I put the pencil tool there and hold it still, it says 859, 449. So we go here and we say 859, 449. That's where it's going to click. Monitoring, I'm going to just turn this off and like leave this all blank. There's instructions on the Discord if you want to set this up. Then as a last step, I'm going to call this boom. Okay, if you're at this point and all these settings are right for your tower, you're ready to start the bot. To start the bot, you want to make sure that the bot is on full food and water. So, like in my case, I'm just going to lay it in a tech pod for a second of seconds. Full food and water. You then access the fast travel, and then as per the instructions in the bot, press F1 and wait 8 seconds and the bot will spawn on the first bed. So I just pressed F1 and now I'm going to wait and see what the bot does. There you go. The bot's spawning on the first bed. It's going to spawn in. It's going to put in a couple of console commands. These console commands set the gamma to 5, set the max FPS to 10. Then it's going to open your arc options. It's going to set your sensitivity all the way up. And then it should put itself into first person. And now it's ready to go. The first lap only, it will take our pellets from the gacha and it will use those to fill the crop plots for you. It will do that the first lap and then after 8 hours. And as you can see now, it's starting to harvest the Y traps, refill the crop plots, and off it goes. Alright, this is a short video. It's gone longer than I wanted to, but this will hopefully show you how to install the Gacha Bot and get it running for your tower.